football coach here at Morehouse, joins us here. Of course, the Box to Row Classic Sports Radio Network Spring Football Tour comes to you live from Morehouse College, of course, after their spring game. Coach Freeman, what did you, and we'll talk a little bit more about last season and what to kind of expect for this upcoming season, but, what did you see out here today?
Well, we have a lot of guys that are not practicing, trying to straighten their academics out. Academics comes first here and should come first in every institution, but one thing for sure, it's going to come first here at Morehouse, with us being one of the top schools in the country academically. And, we want to make sure those guys are doing well, and it also gives the underclassmen, the younger guys, an opportunity to get repetitions. So we got a chance to get them on tape and get them evaluated, and I think it's going to pretty much work for the good for both the guys that sat out and the guys that benefited from them sitting out. But I was very happy to see that we didn't have very many significant injuries. That's a coach's nightmare to get those 15 days of spring practice and lose a player to a significant injury. Right. And that happened to us during fall camp of last year. Our starting quarterback, Byron Ingram, who you didn't see today, he's one of the guys sitting out. He got hurt in a scrimmage game. And it was because I had the quarterbacks, live. Mm-hmm. And that's a mistake I made as a young coach, and it kind of followed Byron throughout the first 3 or 4 games of the season. He pretty much hurt the whole time. Right. But the fact that we came out with minimal injuries, young kids got reps, and it kind of gives us an opportunity to see what our second team and some first team players will look like next year.
What are your thoughts on? And I haven't really looked at the new alignment to see where you fall or where the other teams fall, but it's an opportunity to play for an SIAC championship, an outright championship on the field. Just kind of want to get your thoughts on that.
Well, I'm very supportive. I think it's going to be exciting. The one catch to it puts us in a situation where we have to play 10 straight football games. And of course, we just expressed concerns on depth. So that's another tremendous challenge for us. Of course, we're playing in a tough division. In our division, on our side, just to get out of our side, we have to beat Albany State. We have to beat Fort Valley. We have to beat Clark. We have to beat Benedict College. And these are all colleges that have a great deal of scholarships. And of course, you can throw us in there too. So that on one side, you have the schools with the most scholarships. And then on the other side, you have the heavy hitter in Tuskegee. And then after that, you got Lane College, who's a good football program, don't get me wrong. You got Kentucky State, you got Miles College. So, the strength of the conference really would be in our division. And, I'm not going to make any excuses or complaints. We just got to go play football.
Ramon Harewood was a guy that, played here and was drafted last year in the 6th round by the Ravens, and I know they're liking what he's what he's doing. Just also and also with recruiting, just talk about what it meant to have him here, and then how that has helped you in recruiting.
Well, Ramon was great for us. I mean, the kid was a walking encyclopedia. He didn't get a dime of scholarship money from us.
Wow.
He was on full academic scholarship and just decided to play football. And did a great job for us, great job for Morehouse, being a spokesman, so on and so forth. But it's been great to be able to, to go to other schools and to have my notepad with a big picture of Ramon Harewood dressed in the Baltimore Ravens uniform. That's definitely been a big conversation piece for myself, with parents, with coaches, and ultimately with players. So it's been huge for us.
Outstanding. And lastly, as we don't want to keep you too long, of course, Rich Freeman, the head football coach here at Morehouse, joins us here. We're, of course, live from Morehouse with the Box to Row Classic Sports Radio Network Spring Football Tour. You have Charlie Wilson and others, from a defensive perspective coming back. And then, of course, offensively, David Carter, maybe the premier running back in the SIAC, certainly one of the premier in the country. But even with those guys, what does it do, and how do you, I don't know if you can replace a guy like a Darren Nettles, but he was just so dominant up front. How do you move forward without a guy like that?
I tell you, it's definitely tough to replace someone that runs a 4.9 in the 40 and bench presses 225 40 times. So we're definitely going to miss that. However, last year our strength was in that defensive line, and he was the third of 3 good defensive tackles. So now, we won't be as deep, but we'll still have the starting 2 defensive tackles that started last year. They'll still be here. Hopefully they can look at his successes, and I think he'll get a real good opportunity to play on the next level, and that can serve as motivation for them. They have it in them. It's just going to have to come out of them at some point during next season. But we feel pretty good about where we are with depth. Nettles was a major loss. Miles Stroder was a major loss at right tackle, a big 6'8", 350-pound kid. Of course, our kicker, Ian Mullen, was another major loss. But after that, we basically returned pretty much the entire team. So we were able to replace the offensive tackle. We signed a big kid out of California Junior College system, and we signed the kicker to replace Ian, transfer from the University of Clemson. So we feel very optimistic about the pieces that we have and the pieces that we're bringing in. We just have to make sure that that mesh and that camaraderie and that overall esprit de corps is established during fall camp, because that's something that you can't coach. That's something that talent can't prevail over. That's something that Tuskegee has, and it's that overall esprit de corps, the camaraderie, the knowledge that they're one of the best teams, the knowing that they're one of the best teams in the country, and we want to make sure that we establish that here, and we'll deem that Morehouse magic.
Well, Coach Freeman, I appreciate the time. I appreciate you inviting us down here, man. We're really excited to be here, man. Continued success in the program that you're building here, and good luck again to you and the Maroon Tigers.
You bet, and thank you guys as well.
Absolutely.